So you're all right, Ed. You're not. You guys are good.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I
there's places to improve on, but
there's a bunch of stuff I like in our game that I know it's permanent. I really believe that, and nothing is permanent. I've said that 1,000 times. But if something is missing from our game tonight, in certain areas, I'm not worried about it. It'll be back there the next. Over 82, you're going to have your 4 or 5. You go, what the hell was that? But I'm not worried about that. I'm just trying to maintain an appropriate amount of energy for them, right? So we'll not be in a good mood if we're not playing in a certain way. We're just not going to do that here. But I do understand we're going to have nights like that. The level of perfection, I'm not seeking perfection. As a matter of fact, we don't have anything. Our game doesn't really rely on that at all. Execution, while it's important, I don't say that a lot after. I didn't like our execution. I was told I really don't care how their hands feel. Because if you do the other things, your hands are usually pretty good, and if not, you still have a chance to win. So it's maybe a little different approach. But George, in truth, I'm trying to find that bar too. Right? I am more likely to cross the threshold of having raised the bar too high and barking too much than casual with this. So I don't want to be on the casual area where, hey, it's okay, we won last year, we'll be good in a couple months. No interest in that.
right.
At the same time, you won last year, so if you raise that expectation, well, you should just win, or you're failing, we're going to lose. Like, you cannot circle. You can't play the game we play constantly banging your head against the wall. So I'm just trying to find that right band of emotion for the team, and if they don't have it, I need to, so that we're not all kind of under it on the bench. So there's certain nights you drink a little more coffee and you know you're going to get yapped. Some nights you don't go into the room in between periods. Just let them, they're fine. Just let them work it out. So we're all going through the same thing.
Aaron Ekblad emphasized the trust that your team has in all of your goaltenders, but what does it do for the group when a goaltender like Sergei Bobrovsky is in net, even subconsciously, in terms of trust and confidence?
It's history, right? He's just made too many great game-saving, series-saving saves to forget that he's so capable. Experience. If he gives up a tough one, nobody cares. He's going to get the next one. And if tonight's the night that doesn't happen, nobody cares because he's going to be fine the next day. His preparation is off the charts. His love of the game. It's infectious how much respect he has for the game and how hard he prepares, and that really pushes the players, but the players then are indebted to him. If he is going to work that hard, they have to play to a certain level in front of him. He's earned that. And he's a new dad, so everybody's all happy about it today. Everybody's all jacked up for him.
And how much of a challenge is it to go up against a guy like Macklin Celebrating, who's playing as good of a hockey as he is right now, and you don't have that much film to go off of on him?
Yeah, we've got enough, and then I guess the way to handle it is just remove the birth certificate, right? So you get any player playing very, very well, they're going to be hard to handle. You can't have any of them, right? So you get Barkov going, whether he's 18 or he's 22, he's just a great hockey player that's going. I like the way he plays the game. I haven't seen a lot of him, just pre-scout videos and things like that. He looks like he's going to be a very, very skilled, dynamic player that doesn't cheat the game to put up points. Like, he's interested in playing the game in the right way. And I love those young guys that come in, that they're going to be good. If you get one of those, well, you get a Barkov, and you can build your team around that.
Speaking of Calder candidates, you got Mackey back.
He's back from exile,
Yeah. Interested to see what he's going to, I mean, because he was obviously on a roll.
He was trending.
Yeah.
And it's not the points, and I'm happy for that. I've got full faith that this man's going to be a 40-goal scorer. I know that label, whatever, 25 to 55, whatever the number is. He's going to put up a bunch of numbers. He's got lots of skill. But he's a young man, and there's a whole bunch of the game that you cannot learn in amateur hockey. It's just different here. Size, speed, the ability to stay involved the entire shift. These are all things you have to learn. It's not a character issue. And he's learning them. He's actually ahead of where I thought he would be. And there is a benefit, a huge benefit to the actually not playing 22 minutes a night and just learning by making mistakes. He can play a right number, be held to account, a standard that the other players in that room, and he can learn by watching them, the decisions they make. So I'm he's further ahead of where he missed training camp, and I think that really set him back for about 2-3 weeks. And then he is just slowly starting to build. This is all things away from the puck, and it's not even positioning. It's the battles. It's the decision of what to do with this puck. Is there something there or not?
There was a question when he came in, like you don't want to put a guy like him on your fourth line, but you've been doing it.
Yeah.
Pretty. Is that to kind of get him into that defensive mode, or is it just so
No,
he figures
it's
things
not.
out?
It's actually not really about him. In order for him to play up the lineup, he needs to be better than the player that he's going to play in that hole, or the structure for our team has to be better. Originally, I would have said I don't like young players on the fourth line not playing a lot, but I actually think he's getting better here. If he hadn't, if there was no movement in his game, I would have suggested that he should be at Charlotte playing that 20 minutes, but he had a couple of games about a month ago. He started the flat line, took him out, put him back in, and he got better. So, okay, he can handle it. He can do that. So I do think he's going to get power play time tonight. Not going to put him back up with Barkov yet because those guys are on such a heater, but there'll come a time when that happens. So there'll be a bump to his minutes on that. And then he just needs to be really consistent with the other parts of his game. Because we're going to get one or two players developed, or we're either going to get a really skilled player that puts up a lot of points in production, who's going to have a great NHL career, or we're going to get a guy that can do that, that can play the game that we play, and then we got something special. And that's, at the end, it's my responsibility to him.
Any lineup changes other than Mackey coming back in?
Uvis comes back in for Adam Boquist. Bobrovsky plays, and Mackey comes in for Yona.
Wanted to ask you about Niko because after yesterday's game, you were talking about, not yesterday, but
Yeah, I got you.
You were talking about how you want to lighten up on the minutes for Forsling and Ekblad, and I mean one of the things that you've done is play Mikkola a bit more and have a rotating cast of guys next to him. I mean, how do you think he's handled that, and also just this extra offense that he's provided you guys this year?
Yeah, I love the way he plays. There are a handful of identity players that maybe aren't the Barkovs of our team. You think of Eetu Luosterainen and Mikkola as hard as he possibly can, all over the ice, up the ice. He doesn't have a quiet night. At least 2 or 3 times he's coming back saying something. He didn't finish, I think, or screaming. Nobody really understands what he's saying, but he plays with a lot of energy and passion. I love that about him. He's going to put up some numbers. He's a big man. He's not afraid to go to the net. He was on a bunch of our net drive video in training camp. So I think he's just got a great passion and love for the game, and that's infectious. We think he can play more. He's just coming into his prime. Last year, I think, was the first year where he was in a room and the players say, yeah, that guy's really important in our room. He's counted on in our room. And that changes the way a player approaches the game and how he comes to work in the mornings. And this is really important. These guys rely on me to do a certain job. And he's just building on that. I hope we can keep him for a very, very long time. I like the way he plays.